Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a March makeup haul. I'm supposed to be on a low buy, but I failed this month, so yeah, let's just do this. Alright, so I'm not going to tally everything up, although I really should, and I know I should, but honestly, the idea of coming up with the total kind of terrifies me. Also, some of these things were purchased with points, so I have to take that into consideration as well, and I may have deleted some of the emails, and it's a whole thing. I have any number of excuses as to why I'm not going to tally things up, but just suffice it to say that I'm not going to. But I am going to go through everything and show you what it is that I purchased in the month of March, and then let you know what my plan is for the month of April. So let's just dive into it. So I did place an order from MAC. I actually placed 2 orders from MAC. So when their spring Boom Boom Bloom collection came out, I did place an order. So I picked up the Fix Plus. I had actually finished all of my large and mini size Fix Pluses, so it seemed timely. This one is part of their spring collection, and it is scented like cherry blossoms, and I actually love the scent of it, so much so that I placed a second order and actually purchased a backup, which I never do, but when they had their 25% off sale, I just really couldn't resist the temptation, so now I have 2 of them. I am trying to use up all of my older setting sprays before cracking these ones open, but the temptation is really difficult. It's lovely. So there's that. I also picked up one of the lipsticks, and the packaging is just so beautiful. It really is. It just drew me right in. This one is in the shade High Fructise. It is a matte lipstick. And it's just this really playful, fun coral shade, very different from anything else that I have in my collection. It took me a little while to get used to seeing myself in a shade like this, but it has grown on me significantly, and I'm quite excited for spring to arrive so that I can bust this one out more frequently. Also from MAC, I bought a 221 brush. I already have one, but I like it so much that I picked up a backup. Again, during their 25% off sale. I just really like this one for detailed crease work, lining the under, like the lower lash line, blending the outer edge or the inner corner. I just find it to be a very versatile brush, so I wanted to have a second one so that if one is dirty, I have the other one for rotation purposes, and I really do like this one. I also bought another blush from them. I did purchase Melba a few months ago and really like the formulation of it. And this one here is one of their sheer tone blushes in the shade Pinch Me. So this is Melba and this one is Pinch Me. I feel Melba is a little bit more on like the peach apricot side, whereas this one has a little bit more depth to it in terms of the tone. They're both beautiful. They both last a long time on the cheeks. They blend beautifully, they're buildable, they're just fantastic products, so I really have no regrets with any of my MAC purchases for the month. Let's move over to Shoppers Drug Mart then. I have a few purchases from them, which I will show you. One is another single eyeshadow from NARS. I did purchase one back in January, which I showed you. That one was the shade Persia, which is a beautiful, like, deep orange. This one is the shade Strata, and it's this beautiful bluey purple iridescent shade, which I think is going to be absolutely beautiful for spring and summer. I also ordered one of the Clinique Cheek Pop blushes. This one is Ginger Pop, and there it is on my hand next to that NARS shadow. I've also purchased 2 of the Stila liquid eyeshadows. One of them is a Glitter and Glow in the shade Wanderlust, which I will swatch. I used this one in my recent tutorial using the Just Peachy Mattes palette. The other liquid shadow is one of their Little White Lies, which they're all sort of duochromatic, color shifting liquid eyeshadows. This one is in the shade Mint Myth. So there is the mint one here, and then this one is Wanderlust over here. Also from Stila is one of their liquid lipsticks. This is the Stay All Day liquid lipstick in sheer Patina. And it's one of those sort of like the blotted type look. The blurred matte, I guess, where it's still matte, but there's just something less intense about it. So there it is on my hand. It's a beautiful shade. It is a very comfortable formula. It will dry down without making your lips feel super dry. And I really just love the color of it. And then finally, when they were having that big point redemption, yeah, I bought one of the Garland Meteorites pearls in light. So if you haven't seen them, there they are. These are pricey as hell for what they are. And honestly, I'm not sure that they're worth it. I'm not sure that they really do an awful lot. I'm going to keep playing with them. I'm not ready to return them yet. I do have them on my face today, so I do think that they kind of boost up the radiance a little bit, but I don't know that I would say like anybody needs this in their life. They really don't. For context, this tin is $77. I didn't actually pay money for it, but regardless, I'm kind of glad that I didn't because I'm not wowed by them. Like I'm really not. If you have them and you've had really good experiences with them, please feel free to let me know down below how it is you use them because I want to have the best outcome possible with them. Okay, on to Sephora. I didn't really do an awful lot of Sephora shopping, to be honest. I did pick up some items from Incredible. So one is a blush, so it is a cream blush that you just kind of blend onto the cheeks. I have talked about this one on my channel in the past, and I really do like it. It blends beautifully, it lasts all day, it's not too heavy, it's not too intense, it's just a beautiful product. This one is in the shade Be My First Kiss, so if you haven't seen any of my other videos talking about it, you just pick up a little tiny bit, goes onto the skin like that, and then it does just blend out beautifully. So it's not overwhelming, and it will last all day. Also from Incredible, I picked up one of their jelly highlighters because, I don't know, I was curious. This one is in the shade Cosmic Blur. It's got like a bit of a bluey purple iridescence. I don't think the camera's picking that up. It's kind of got like a cream-like texture. It's not really jelly per se. There it is on my finger, and again, it just shears out nicely without being super overwhelming. Like it definitely does show up as a color shifting highlight on the skin, but it's not overwhelming and it's not like super glittery or anything like that at all. Finally, from Incredible, I also bought one of their eye pigments. This one's in the shade Dose of Ego. It's a bright cobalt shade. I haven't had an opportunity to really play around with it. I've just swatched it on my hand once. It is a rather stiff formula, I will say. Just meaning that it's definitely thick. Like it almost has a consistency of like a gel eyeliner. And then it kind of shears out when you blend it. But that's also just me using my finger to blend it, so I imagine that it's going to be rather buildable, but I haven't, like I said, haven't had a chance to really play with it on my eyes. What I recall from swatching it the last time though is once it dried down, like it was impossible to get it off my hand. So I'm going to wipe it off now before it dries down. So I think if I can get the opacity on the eyes with it, it's going to be fantastic because it's not going to move around, but stay tuned. I will play around with it and I will let you know my thoughts on it once I've had that opportunity. The last thing from Sephora is the Visi Art Palette. This is the Liaison palette. I do want to do a review of this and one or two looks with it. For what it's worth, it is a beautiful palette. If you like cool tones, this is a great option. It is pricey. It was, I believe, $70, $71, somewhere around there. But it is absolutely beautiful and something that's quite different from what I have in my collection already. So again, look forward to a review on this palette. I don't have a timeline in place, but hopefully soon. I'm working on it. A review that you have seen from me already is on the Turtle palette here from Tarte. It is the High Tides and Good Vibes palette, but I hate that name, so I call it the Turtle palette. There are the shadows in there, and if you haven't seen the review, I'll put it in the cards up here, but overall it was very favorable. The only complaint, it's not even a complaint, but recommendation that I would have had would have been that these be metallic shadows rather than glitters, but overall the performance is there, the shades are beautiful, I love the packaging, so I give it a thumbs up for this one. So, for April, oh crap, no, there's a couple other things, damn it. I just picked these up too. Wet n Wild stuff, sorry, before we get into April, Wet n Wild. So I went to Walmart recently and they had new items for Wet n Wild that I had never seen in stores before. I don't even know that I've really heard anything about these. So one is a loose highlighter. I got the shade I'm So Lit. I'm going to have loose highlighter for like lifetime basically because this thing is huge. I also picked up one of their eyeshadow palettes. This is in the shade Earth. I normally don't like these kind of palettes, but I wanted to pick it up in order to do a review, to be honest. So I'm going to use all 4 of these Wet n Wild products together. One is a stick foundation, so I got this one in the shade Soft Ivory, and then a lip gloss in, what are you, Sagittarius. And it's a nice metallic-y maroon shade. So I'm going to incorporate those into a review at some point. Again, I make no promises on timelines for things, but at any rate, I wanted to include those. So, April. Nothing. I plan to do a no-buy, with the exception of the Bare Minerals Floral Utopia. If that finally becomes available in Canada, I will probably pick up at least one thing, maybe 2 things from that line. But other than that, for the month of April, no makeup. No makeup. I don't need anything. So as emails come in advising me of sales, I'm going to be unsubscribing because I find that that is incredibly triggering. I have got rid of the majority of them, but some have still snuck through, so I'm going to be a bit more diligent with that. I'm going to give the Sephora new arrivals page a break because I am like addicted to checking that, and just stay out of makeup areas where I know I'm going to be super tempted. So that's my plan. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes, but that is the plan. So at any rate, I'm going to wrap it up here. I would love to hear from you in terms of what you have purchased this month, or if you are doing a no or low buy. What keeps you motivated? What has been your saving grace in all of that? Please feel free to share. I would love to hear from you on any of those items. So with that, I'm going to wrap this video up. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next one. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.